Check, check. Good morning, true art believers. This is Pearson here. It is a awesome Monday, and I'm getting ready to do my drawing session for the day. I just want to see how you are doing. I'm doing pretty good. But without further ado, let's start. All right, let's get into the image here and just start working. So, wait, before I begin, I gotta hit the timer. There we go. I gotta time myself so I know where I stand with my image. Otherwise, I just kind of like forget about it, and just keep going. And I have to stop at a certain time. So in about 2 hours, I gotta stop. Okay, so had planned on doing a whole new layer, and I think for this session, I'm going to spend the time on the mouth and the lips, or the mouth. Yeah, the mouth. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. We're going to spend the time on the mouth and nose. Actually, just the mouth. Then we're going to go to the nose and the bridge of the nose, and then maybe parts of the up here, cheeks. I guess you call them cheeks, middle cheeks. So I don't know what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to try to see if I can get away using this small little brush to kind of do some of the finer stuff here and see how that works out. If I like it, I'll continue it. It's a little too micro for my liking, but I'm going to see how it works. I think it might be necessary for this piece. I don't know. Especially since I don't, well, oops. Since I don't know, I'm not quite sure on how detailed I want this piece to be. So that's one of the things I've been kind of struggling with. Is like how much detail am I supposed to put on this piece today? You know. Actually, I probably need to stop for a second because I really wanted to do one thing, and that was have a sip of coffee. Yeah, so like typically doing like strand of hair for me is always something that never really was. It's not like, I don't say a skill set, but it never really. It's not something I would just get up and say, hey, let's. That's what I want to do is draw every strand of hair, and nor do I think I can with this drawing because I really can't see every strand of hair. I can see a lot of different strands of hair, but I can't see all of them. And why would I draw every strand of hair? First off, I think it's an overgeneralization to do that. I don't know. It just feels weird to draw every strand of hair because I think that's like impossible because I can't see every strand of hair. I can make up where I think all the strands of hair are at, and then doing that feels even more fake. Anyways, some of the things that I'm kind of playing around with. You know, you may notice that my drawing sessions are a little later than normal, and it's my bad. I haven't been getting up at the time that I normally would get up, which is used to be 4, but like I've been kind of slacking. I'm not gonna lie, I've been really slacking. Been slacking because I just want an evening. I want to have like an evening where I can like say, hey, let's not worry about anything. And so I've been watching a lot of Star Trek in the evening. And I say evening, I mean more like 10 to 11 or 10 to 12, because that's usually the time I kind of clock out. And I just need to stop that. I really just need to, like, it's the end of the day. I should just go to bed. But man, it's so nice to be able to have like, like that feeling of, hey, I can go, I can not go to bed, but I can kind of have that like moment between bed where it feels like I have me time essentially. And I don't really have a lot of me time, so I've been trying to take advantage of it, and it's been kind of backfiring because it's affecting my time when I draw, and it's everything else is kind of getting behind in a sense. I'm not necessarily ahead, but I'm also kind of barely keeping up because I've been kind of lax in that kind of responsibility. I think you probably can relate, right? I think you can relate to that, right? Where you have sometimes you want to have an evening. That's perfectly valid, I think, right? So, and that's what I've been trying to kind of have. It happens that so happens that I really don't have that luxury at the moment, and I'm not sure I will for a while. I think once I get done with these portraits and then start doing new ones, but only do them in like short bursts. So instead of doing them in accepting a bunch of them at a time and having to do all of them, uh, I instead of accepting time and having to do all of them, I'm lost. I don't know. I don't know where I was going with that. It was like a partial thought trying to kind of figure out where it kind of weasels into the dialogue, and I was just trying to figure out where it goes. Just trying to find out what I'm trying to speak about. Um, I think I just want to have like basically just want to have like that normal life, not normal life, but like maybe like a normal schedule where I can deload, because like I know a lot of other artists, they have their evenings, and it'd be nice to have my evenings back for a while. You know, that's yeah. So that's where I stand. I want some evenings back, but I don't want them. Actually, I do. I want to have an evening back. I want my evenings back, but I guess the only way I'd actually have to have my evenings, I could get my evenings back is if like something along the lines of um, I don't know, like if I become blessed blessed and am able to work full time as an artist. I know that sounds like self-serving, but that's probably the only time if I could have evenings in that would be when I'd have evenings. And some days I feel like I'm getting closer, you know. But I really enjoy coffee, so I'm gonna drink some more coffee. Not I don't buy Starbucks coffee, believe it or not. I just don't think it's worth it. Um, because when I see Starbucks coffee, I see like, what do I see? I see basically 1/30th of my paycheck going towards one coffee or something, or some small fractional amount, but enough that it's like that's a lot through time, because it's like $5 a pop, isn't it? I don't even know how much it costs, and there's a reason why, because I don't buy anything from Starbucks. But it's not cheap, and so I'd rather not pay for a cup of coffee that is like highly marked up, you know, at least in my opinion, because one cup of coffee is like a giant thing of coffee grounds, you know. And to me, I'd rather just have a bunch of average coffee for a really affordable price, as opposed to something that's slightly above average for a really expensive price. Because that's what it is. It's not like it's like mind-blowing coffee. It's just like, hey, here's a cup. You know, it's just marketed really well. Probably need to draw on this side a little bit. I'm kind of getting a little micro on the right side of the cat's face. You know, I'm probably a little bit too micro for my liking, but again, I don't know what's too little and what's too much. So this has only been 12 minutes, and I haven't really done much with regard to the face. So I might just be moving around. Like I might just do move up one stream and then see what happens, and probably do another round tomorrow of details ish, you know. But yeah, how much coffee do you guys drink? You drink enough coffee? You coffee drinkers? Yeah. Hmm. I want to get one of those like illustration gloves that you put on your hand here when you draw using the tablet. I think that would benefit me. Not in the sense that you like, oh, it looks cool, but I think it minimizes the that. So sometimes your hand will signal the tablet that you're doing a specific like action, and it'll zoom out accidentally. And I need to, work on that and get one of those or something when I get some money, I guess. We'll see when that happens, right? Um, so I've been watching Star Trek. Oh my gosh. I'm on season 2. I didn't realize the first season of Star Trek, The Next Generation, was like almost 30 episodes. That's interesting. That's almost that's rare. That's like a rarity these days, you know? So I thought that was interesting, but also the 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 show at the time, man, they had some risky stuff, like just like very adult theme stuff. I was like, man, I did not realize that this show is this like, adult, that. So I was like, that's interesting to see, I didn't think it'd be like that, but it is. So that's something that is a kind of a new. And it's also seeing just like how bad the choreography is. Like it is bad. It looks like the action scenes, they may have been top notch back in the day, but man, they're really, really I think the action scenes back in the like they treated action scenes maybe it was more like let's treat it like a theater where it has to be like ballet, right? So they didn't have the action scene market like they do now, where like you hire like a choreographer and you have a bunch of like pulley systems and all kinds of stuff. So they had to do a bunch of um, just I can't explain it. It just let's just say it this way: it looks cheesy, like very cheesy by today's standards. They're like because we're kind of spoiled. We're like spoiled with action movies and such. Yeah, we don't know what it used to look like, but like they're doing weird kick flip things where the person gets kicked, but he's basically doing a weird uh, ballet move or something. I can't explain it. The guy gets kicked on the belly, but he flips over to make it look like he's being flipped over, or like the force is flipping him over, but really it's more like a gymnastic move, I guess. We're gonna do that. It's gonna look cool. I thought that was hilarious. I really did. I thought it was hilarious. It made me laugh. It's like, what is this? Is this really happening? Is this the action that they provided? It was a different time, and it's not even that long ago, but like it's long enough that we're like, wow. I mean, when we have like shows like Stranger Things where you they can CGI a car being flipped over for like 20 cents, when to do something like that would require like a whole huge budget for a TV show, you know. Now they're able to do it with fractions of the dollar comparatively than what it used to be. So like we're spoiled, dude, with the technology, with all this kind of like um, ability to do things less. Like this right now, what I'm doing, my gosh, I'm broadcasting for almost nothing. I don't have any viewers, but I'm broadcasting for like literally. It could be free if I chose it to be. Like there's the service here. I could do this for free. And as before, if you were to do something like this in the 90s, oh my gosh, you would have to have all this infrastructure. It costs so much money. and no one, there'd be like no viewers because at the time there was no market, you know, even there'd be like negative viewers. They're like, what, you're drawing online? Who's gonna watch that? I don't know. Who's gonna watch that? It's like a weird, it's a weird concept. People watch stuff, you know. People will watch a lot of things. Not a lot of things, but like people watch some weird stuff, you know. I'm not saying this is like weird, but it's amazing that I'm able to do this. And I think I don't think like to me at this point I'd like people may not I don't think people think of it that way. They think of it like this is just the way it was, and really it's not. This is quite the technological feat here, and it's quite amazing that I'm able to do something as simple as just broadcast stream live. And guess what? And what's even more amazing is I'm doing this, but I'm also listening to music through my headphones that are wireless onto the computer. That is crazy, right? That is something that is some just it's like magical, right? It's not magic. It's obviously it's super intellectual people have spent time and effort to make these systems, but like that 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 process is super amazing. Like I never would imagine like, oh, when I'm older, guess what, Matt? When you're older, you're gonna be able to draw online and people are gonna watch it and it's gonna record automatically. And guess what? You'll have the memory on your computer to store your these files. And guess what? You don't even have to store it on your computer anymore. You just if you want to, it can be stored on a a thing that they call a platform and or on a website, and the website will store it for you, and they won't charge you for it. It's like it used to be if that's something if you wanted to do something like that, you'd be charged for it. Like, oh, yeah, you want to store your thing? Oh, that's cool. I know there are services that do that, right? You have, your cloud-based saving services, you know. But yeah, that's an amazing feat. Anyways, I'm just working on like doing these strands of hairs. I don't even know where it's going. I think talking really provides an ample enough distraction. Uh, what I really want to do is I think after I do one layer of details, coffee's in my mustache. I'm gonna do another layer, and then I'm gonna do one final layer of like just flashy colors because I like to do that. Like, been something I've been pondering about, and just like taking your cool greens and putting some cool green hairs or something there. I don't know. Like I fancy pink, not because I don't. It's not it's not because of that. It's just it's not for any other reasons. It's not for the reasons people think or might assume. It's because like I think it's just the high contrast that it like pink is such it's so high contrast to all the other colors that you can just see it. And I'll do like greens every once in a while, but like I do that because it's like a non-natural color to all the surroundings of objects. Like blues and greens and reds and oranges typically will kind of blend. They may be a high contrast, but they'll blend. They can blend in with the drawing because humans, our skin tones have those colors in there inherently, and even if we exaggerate them, they still work. They still kind of complement each other. So I usually use like that pink or purple to really uh, push push that contrast that I'm looking for. There's this show called Raised by Wolves on HBO, and um, I enjoy good sci-fi shows. Like a good sci-fi show, and it looks interesting, but I don't have the time to watch them. So I typically what I like to do is I like to see these people online that listen, not see them, listen to them, and they like to do like synopses of the show. Like I like those synopses. Um, I gotta clean my mustache. Oh, look at the sunlight on my hand. What? Wait, where is it? I thought I saw sunlight like cascading on my hand. I like to see those synopses of the shows. I'm gonna take a little minute break for a second to take a sip of coffee. But I really do like seeing those synopses of the shows, and just like because it's just interesting to see like, oh, here is the breakdown of this episode, and it's nice because it's like 5 minutes, although eventually I end up watching more, wasting my time on more of the breakdowns than yeah, I could have just watched the episode and kind of got the gist of it. But and it's more like those breakdowns are like in between. So I think what I'm gonna do, like they're in between like stuff like this, or so like it's not like I'm able to watch a whole episode. Maybe I could just like keep Amazon Prime or at Netflix on the like on my computer and just like, hey, I have like 5 minutes to watch a little bit of the show and then watch a little bit, and then I go do my own work. Maybe that's what I should do. Have it like open so I can actually watch something in between of doing something because that's what I like to do. So I've kind of worked on the zoom out. I've kind of worked on the oh, there we go. I kind of did a little details on the hair on the mouth there. I really didn't get much done. Like I worked on it, but I don't know. It doesn't feel final. Uh, it doesn't feel in this. It feels it feels good, but it doesn't feel great. I think what I'm eventually going to do is I'm going to work on the nose now, and then the nose as in like the just the fur part, and then I'm going to go to like the left eye and the right eye, but not the eye, just like on the fur area. And then I'll do a session, maybe no, that might be it. uh and then what I'll do is I'll do a session tomorrow. Shoot, this is going to take a lot longer. It might take this whole week, again maybe till Thursday. A session tomorrow where I work on the forehead, the ears, and then I got to go back and I wanted to do two layers on top of each other of like details where I just kind of add like little hairs, right? So that's what I'm going to be doing. And then yeah, I don't know. Maybe I might include the nose. I don't know. I think I'm gonna have to do the nose. I kind of talk myself into it. I'm gonna do a detail session, a layer of no for the actual nose today, and then I'm gonna spend maybe a portion of my time. Yeah, I think I psyched myself into it. Yeah, I'm gonna do a portion of the nose, and then a portion of the fur on the between this next 25-minute session, and then I'll do the same for the eyes. I'll go on the eyes and do like a quick once over, adding another layer of richness to it, tightening up things and see where I want it to go. And then I'll work on the fur as well. That way I don't feel like I'm leaving the eyes and nose on a layer like a step behind. Yeah, so I think I need to keep the I think I need to keep them kind of going in the same path. So like it's okay. There's certain areas that aren't too I'm not too I don't really like too much. Like this area right here doesn't feel right. I feel like this eye, where there's extreme contrast, is kind of odd, but I don't feel like, I don't know how I can solve it at the moment. Okay, time to start. Let's see here. So we're going to go, do I want to do airbrush for the nose? Let's do airbrush for the nose right now and see what happens. All right, we're just gonna do a little, oh, I'm glad I didn't do that. We're gonna do airbrush for the nose and see what happens. Okay, so we're gonna put something like right here. I don't really like airbrush. I really do not. It's not, always felt that it, like the airbrush on Photoshop, I kind of like. It's not even an airbrush. It's like a soft round brush. I like that because it applies pigment faster, or it applies tone faster. But like the the uh, the airbrush on here is just so slow. You know, it's just like a super slow process. And here's the thing about this airbrush: I haven't done it in such a long time. Again, that I'm getting reacquainted on how I need to blend. So that's another thing. Like you're always doing these, you're always switching around brushes, and man, I'm just amazed at all these artists that are doing really tip top digital work. You know, but sometimes I see their actual hand drawing stuff, and I'm not impressed. Now, when I see artists that do really good digital work, and then I see their hand drawings, and I say, wow, and their hand drawings look as good as their digital drawings, then I'm like really impressed. You know, I'm like, wow, that's these guys got some skills, you know. But sometimes the ones like the digital artists I see are their traditional drawing skills are not as good as their I mean their digital drawing skills are not as good as their traditional drawing skills. So like they've been overutilizing some of the techniques, and that's fine. You know, like you're an expert at digital art, you know, and to some extent it's probably better to be that, you know, because if you're an expert at it, you can do things faster and you can charge basically the same amount as a fine artist now for a like a portrait. You know, it used to be that to sell a digital item was people would only buy it cheaply because there was no tangible object entailed to it, attached to it, and because of that, people would only they wouldn't pay premium value to it. But now you can sell a digital item for at premium cost, you know, but not like before. So you know, that's things have changed, man. It's interesting to see how we've accepted digital mediums. You know, people buy digital items on like games now. I never thought I'd do that. I did that once on Destiny. I think I did it once. I don't know. Maybe I didn't. Maybe I waited for like the expansion pack to come in, and or waited for that the all the old content to come in into the actual. So maybe I waited for like the I don't know. Maybe I did when I was really into it. Because sometimes after a while they like they put that those old DLC content as free content that you can have. And maybe that's what happened is I eventually got it as free content, or like a free thing. You know, Destiny, what they do is those games like, hey, you want really cool armor that looks cool? You want people like, oh my gosh, you want people to be like jealous of you and your armor? Well, you got $30? No, I don't. Yeah. So that DLC, man. There's a reason why Fortnite makes money. There's like, of course, they make the game free, and then they get you on all the cool like flashy armor and stuff. Like I don't know. I don't know. I think that's a part of it. I don't know where they also get their money from, but I think that's part of it. So I'm just kind of defining the nose a little bit more, just ever so subtly. And then I might go and I don't know, take a nap. Take a nap after all this. Yeah, I might take a quick 30. Oh, that'd be nice, wouldn't it? To take a nap. All right, so I don't know, man. This is a little bit better. Just something to kind of move it forward with what I'm going to be doing with the nose. I find myself though getting more and more slouchy with this. I'm getting really slouchy. I need to straighten my back up. You know? Just getting more and more slouchy. Okay, let's see what I can do. What kind of hair magic I can kind of work on right here. I don't know. There's a lot of, I guess, this when we're doing these drawings, we're always expected to like, hey, I know what I'm doing, but I do know what I'm doing to a sense. I'm looking at how the hair is kind of gliding down whoa, okay, maybe I don't know what I'm doing again. Uh, oops, get out of there, silly little. Um, I'm looking at how the hair is kind of gliding down the nose. I'm looking at like the grain of the hair, like how is it kind of moving. I'm looking at those little things and seeing how I can make subtle little hair like marks that are supposed to signify hair follicles. Like, what would that do? How can I make the hair kind of model around the form some? You know, I would really like to be able to sit down and just have a standard session, or like standard day, a standard like time where I can just sketch my sketchbook. Maybe I need to allocate time. Maybe I need to before I go to bed to spend like 10 minutes in the sketchbook just kind of doodling. You know, that's something I need to think about and really probably put into play. That's one of the things I'm missing, like drawing for myself, drawing just overall just doing things. Again, I'm trying to this hair. I'm trying to use this small hairbrush and see how I can kind of make like little strokes that are significant in certain areas, but it feels kind of scratchy. I can't seem to, at this point in time, it feels like I'm forcing it. And perhaps it might not get to perhaps this might be a stepping stone for future drawings on how I kind of manipulate hair. And how I kind of move the hair strands. Maybe I'm doing them. Maybe I'm doing hair strands that are too thin or too short, so they feel kind of they don't feel like hair at the moment. Maybe it's that it's a small tweak, right? It could be many things that are causing a the hair to feel incomplete or the I don't know. It's maybe it's a small thing that I need to adjust that I don't know at the moment, like what needs to be adjusted. So it's going to take me I'm probably perhaps I might not figure it out, like what's the missing element, what's the missing drawing technique that I'm not implementing. Like it could be something just slightly off. Maybe I'm not doing a mid lines that are mid-size. Maybe I need to be doing those. I don't know. It could be a multitude of things that are affecting the outcome of this drawing. And it's not a bad drawing. I'm not saying it's not bad. It's not bad drawings. Um, it's certain. Oops. See, there we go again. See, it looks pretty good. It's not bad. Um, I like some of the brushiness that I can like that brush stroke feeling there. And perhaps it's that. Maybe it's I don't need to do that. Maybe I use this brush as opposed to the strand brush. Maybe the strand brush is too hard of a brush, right, to create this like feeling of hair. You know, maybe that might be it. I don't know. Or maybe it's because I have better control with this brush. Like I can create a little bit of a better taper in certain areas, and that might be it. I might have solved it. I don't know. Maybe I use this as my micro brush. I think I use this brush. I like the other one seems too toothy, if that makes any sense. It makes every strand of hair a little too hard edged, and maybe that's what I need to not have. I need like a softer globule like brush that kind of feels more painterly that goes with the motif because like those yeah, I think that might be it. So we're gonna do that. Yeah, we're gonna do that and see where it takes us. Who knows? Sometimes I was like looking through these these social media posts and people like who are really good artists go on and say, "This is my first digital drawing ever," and I'm like, sometimes I think I think you're lying. Sometimes I feel like people say that just so that they can get more response. You know, I feel like they say that so they can get a higher like return response, and people are like, really, that's your first drawing ever? Like, yeah, it's my first. Or they'll say like, I've never drawn before. This is my first drawing ever. And then like it's this amazing drawing, and they're like, whoa. And then they move on to another group. I always thought that was funny. Maybe that is their first drawing ever, and then if so, kudos. But like, geez, it's like, why'd you start drawing so just now? And then also, if you're this good, why'd you start drawing so late in the game? And then why do you have to proclaim it? And then what happens is it makes people that have been drawing forever feel real bad about themselves because they've been trying so hard to improve, and then you have this one person who goes out and proclaims that this is their first drawing ever, and they're like, and so like you get these people get really disenchanted. They're like, oh my gosh, I've been drawing forever, and this guy comes in and says, this is my first digital drawing ever, and then all of a sudden, like it's amazing, and like all I did is apply my own techniques that I've learned from drawing traditionally. Like I always felt that maybe am I missing something? Am I the only one that doesn't see that this digital drawing is infinitely a different a different medium than drawing traditionally? Like it just to me it feels different. And to me, because of that, this doesn't. I just don't see that transfer that some people are able to do. I don't know why I'm not able to transfer like some of the my own personal skill set with drawing. Like some of it's transferred, yeah. Like, but uh, I've left with more questions. And if I guess maybe I just question like different ways, and maybe the people that did those drawings were just doing what they know to be true, and just that's all they do. And I was like, so I don't know. It's really interesting to see that type of thing occur, but I don't know, like maybe they're lying. Maybe they're just saying, hey, this is my first drawing, and all of a sudden people get this, they just give them, they get the response that they want, and then they get the feel goods in their belly. Maybe that's what they're doing, trying to get that feel good. But some people are like, wow, that's your first drawing ever? Yep. And they're like, is it really your first drawing? They're like, well, first finished drawing. you know, first finished drawing. Uh, what's going on here? There we go. So 6 minutes left on this section. I'm gonna move to the eyes and nose. You know. So I'm just moving things around and playing around with tones. Now I really think the trying to use the strand hair uh, might have been okay, but I don't know if it's good for this drawing. because it's I feel maybe if I do a few, like if I take that strand here and really dial it down here and do a few strands. Here and there. Maybe they act as like a hatching or something. You know, there's a few strands here and there. Maybe that might be what I have to use this for. I think I was using it for improperly. This hair also feels very, there we go, that feels a little bit better. Those, again, it's always an experiment. Always be experimenting a little bit. And I think that's where a lot of us tend to not do is we draw, but like we get to a level of confidence in our drawing, and then we just kind of stop, like testing our boundaries a little bit, you know, changing. We just kind of stop with the form some, you know. And so maybe that's it. I don't know. Yeah. So I think I know what I need to do a little bit more of is balance out the strand hair with the brushy type style hair, brushwork hair, the really kind of globule of hair. I think the nose, the bridge right here, the nose needs to be grayer to some regard. You know, and I haven't really been doing that. I haven't been doing that much either. Yeah, so that's something I need to focus on a little bit more with intent. Yeah, it's looking pretty good, but doing stuff like that. So I might, so it's going to be two detail sessions, uh, just moving around here. And I don't know how much of the ears I want to put details into, and like I don't, because it's going to be like focused on the front, and that's what I want kind of to resonate with this drawing here, is to have that the predominant focus happen in the front here. just kind of playing around. And that's officially break time, but I'm gonna spend some more this time to kind of work on some more tones in areas I didn't really get much time to work on. Just keep using. I'm just gonna work through it maybe take a moment to take some coffee. Yeah, it's looking okay when I look at it. When I'm on the computer screen or like on the web browser, so I'm looking at it right now, and it's okay. I don't like that with the high contrast. I don't like the because the information is not there. I don't know how the hair looks on there. The color's so bright, and I'm gonna ugh, now the coffee's cold and the sun's coming up, so I'm starting to look more ragged, a lot more ragged. That's for sure. Okay, I'm gonna get this coffee right here from here. So I have two different cups of coffee. One's the morning. Well, they're both the same cup of coffee, but so I have one for I have these cups of coffee with me, so I don't have to go back downstairs and pick up more coffee. So I have to put one in a thermos so I don't have like two ice cold cups of coffee after 20, 30 minutes. So I have two more sessions left, and I'm going to spend that time to work on the eyes. So I think I'm going to move towards the eyes and start adding a little bit of detail there. I'm going to go on the top eye there and work on like just fine tune the eye a little bit further, just slowly tweak it up, and then I'm going to start working on the hair around it. Um, and then I'm going to do the same to the other side. And then I'm going to decide whether I want to start spending time on, this is going to be for tomorrow, decide whether I want to spend some time on the forehead. I think I want to spend some time on the forehead for the next drawing session, some time on the forehead and on the ears. I'm not quite sure on where I want to work on the drawing, like for tomorrow. I was coming in with the intention on working on just the like the front areas, which was the mouth, the nose, the eyes, and part of the forehead. Or if I trailed off on the forehead, I'd be okay. But I'm thinking about maybe spending maybe allocating some time on the forehead and ears, and then go back over again one more session, and then I'm going to type. That will be it for the fine details. But then I'm going to go one more layer for strictly the eyes and nose. I like to do one special layer for the eyes and nose to kind of really tweak them a little bit more, and then I do the background and foreground. So a lot of stuff going ahead. Like I want at the back. I'm going to spend some time. I'm going to spend a whole session on the background and on the foreground. So that's what I got to start doing. I'm going to do it right now. Let's start right now instead of just talking about it. Instead of just talking about it, let's just do. Okay, I'm going to take this, move the cat's eye over here on this side, and then I'm going to move the airbrush. I don't like you, airbrush, but we're going to move and start using you. And what I typically do is I'm just going to tweak, just sharpen things up a little bit more. Just sharpen things up, maybe make things a little more vibrant. Just subtle things that's going to make the eye feel a little bit more like what I'm seeing. I've never really been a fan of the airbrush anyways, but it's always good to use it, to practice it. Some people, when they find something that they don't like using, or they're not good at, they kind of like they kind of they avoid it. And I at least try to use it more on purpose, because I think that it's good to challenge yourself a little bit. And so that's what I'm trying to do with this uh, drawing session, or at least with the airbrush. I don't typically like using the airbrush at all. And I think what I might do is I might use this manga brush to oh, that's way too small, to fill in the pupils with a hard edge, just so that they're there, you know, because they're kind of it's going to take me a while in order to get that tone that I want with airbrush. It's going to take me, it doesn't go on fully, so it's going to take me a couple swipes, and it's going to be hard to notice. So I'm going to use this manga brush to kind of fill in this area and just make it just a dark spot. I'm going to make it dark here. Really knock that tone in place. So that's what we're going to do with that. And then we'll soften it up later, or we'll soften up the highlights later. So it's much darker now. That's some hot coffee. So now I'll go back to the airbrush. How much time do I have? I have 20. I just want to spend like 5 more minutes on the eye itself, and then go around and work with the hair a little bit, move it around there, because I think that's important to have. Yeah, I think it's important. So it gets really, really dark down here, and I might have to just really push that darkness. How much of that darkness is really questionable, but we're going to work on it. So it might just be like pure black, in this area. I just make it pure black and hope that it works out. So in these areas, I will be playing around with saturation and color a little bit, trying to see how much contrast I want down here. I try not to do like those there's this method that I see that works really well, that I'd love to practice just on, like, if I were just to do like a single eye. I'd love to practice it, but it's like this method where they use like I hear some where they use what you call it, a bunch of layering effects that kind of it adds like high contrast. I can't explain it, but it's a bunch of layering effects that exaggerates the colors and the contrast in the eye that looks like an eye, but like hyper real, but fake. Like if you were to make like a cyborg eye, I guess, without the like cybernetics, this would be like what the eye would look like. So it looks cool. It's like flashy, I guess. So a lot of this digital art, there's like it's really flashy, right? So it's like really good. Whoa, totally extreme, dude. It's so cool looking. When I say flashy, I probably just mean like it looks cool, you know? And that's what I see a lot of people do is they tend to make flashy work that looks cool and that people like. And then sometimes I think about that though. I think about that a lot. Like I think about, are they making art because other people like it, or are they making art because they like it? Or do they know whether or not they like the artwork that they're making? It's hard to, that's what a lot of artists don't know. Like I talk about this a lot because I feel that it's important to really know yourself and know whether your art you're making is for you or is it for someone else. And uh, people will make art that they think is for them, but they don't know it because it sells. So like when you're making art to sell, you're getting on a slippery slope on whether it is for you or not. Now, maybe the first few were like, this is me, and then it became more about them. I don't know. I'm coming off as weird. I don't know. Like I think I just had this conversation with the artist, and she was talking about her work, you know, like she made her work was selling, but it wasn't like her work. Like she was making work because it put food on the table to help provide for her family, but in the back of her mind, she pondered this notion whether is this my work or is this the work of or is this people dictating what I make because I know that it'll sell, right? And a lot of artists do that. And me personally, I really don't do that. And that's probably the reason why I don't make a lot of money doing this. I'm like, oh, well, I guess I can make a bunch of I guess I could get really well versed in drawing anime characters that are very popular and put them in bikinis and then all of a sudden make a lot of money. Like not make a lot of money, but definitely be comfortable or just, you know, because what I'm doing is I'm pulling on the the niche market, right? I'm I'm gaming the system, I guess, or I'm doing something that will sell because first off, a lot of fans love their characters being in bikinis or so and a lot of fans love anime and they love seeing their characters in like no clothes, and then you double that, right? Oh, I really need I focus way too much on the pupils. I need to start working on the pupils are okay. That's a good start for a practice run, but now I'll start working on some hair because we need to work on some hair, really need to get that hair dialed in, get some of that contrast that I'm looking for. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird thing. Like I totally agree. Like there's a reason why. Like here's put it this way. Like when I've read books and they're like what you need to do in your book when you're doing when you're an artist is do one thing and you keep doing that until you become known for it. And then once you become known for it, you can start experimenting with what you do, right? It's like, what? So I got to do 1,000 of like 1,000 abstract pieces, 1,000 of this, until people like recognize this is what Pearson does. And then all of a sudden, like, then I might have the opportunity to kind of do something different. Come on, really? Like you're unless you're really well. This is I'm going to sound awful. Like I'm not unless you're really basic. You would change like your preferences and your aesthetics changes a lot. Like unless you really love the subject matter to keep you really in tune with it for years, right? You're going to change. And it's unfair for customers to constantly expect you to do the same type of themes forever and ever and ever until you die. It's like this is what musicians get stuck into, like, and it kind of sucks. Like I like if think about it, I have friends who like Nine Inch Nails, and then they're like, oh, they love Nine Inch Nails, but they only love the old stuff. They don't love the new stuff because it's not the same. It's not the same stuff that they did. I'm like, well, what do you want them like just to be to repeat the same stuff over and over again, or try to their change a little bit and adapt? Like it's going to have the same voice. It's going to have like the same kind of aesthetic, but you want them to grow. You can't have these artists, you know, stay static. Unfortunately, that's what we expect. And that sucks, man. You put these artists in a position where they can't do anything different. Like, oh well, um, I've been painting paintings of pancakes and syrup for 5 years now, and they that's all that sells. I can't do anything differently. I've been really meaning to start painting super abstract paintings of nothing but pink and blue. And I've been really wanting to do that because I'm tired of painting pancakes and syrup. Nope. Your clients only want you to do that forever. It's like, wait a second, man. I've been doing this for 10, 12 years now. I'm not like I've been doing these pancake and syrup paintings for 10, 12 years. I'm like, aren't you bored of these already? Like, I'm bored of painting these pancake and syrup drawings. That's an example. Like I don't know, like how interested do you want the artist to be in the subject matter? I guess maybe that's the reason why you have all these artists that do like anime and like guy artists do anime and these chicks in like exaggerated proportions, if you know what I'm saying, and put them in like swimsuits, right? I guess like that's the reason why. It's like, well, I'm a guy and I could be forever interested in this topic. It's like, yeah. But I think I heard a photographer once say like there's a million and one of those. There is no shortage of those type of artists where they like photographers that just take photos of like glamour shots of highly attractive women. There's no shortage of them. And on an aesthetic level, some of those photos are really good, but like there's the content is like the subject and the content and the meaning it's a little emptier. It's a little empty. I don't know. Like Maybe I should just draw Marvel characters and put them in swimsuits. Mainly, maybe I should do that with like Captain America and Iron Man. What if Iron Man and Captain America were a two-piece? I think it's silly. No, it's a very complex subject that I think is it's worth least thinking about because yeah, like how can you expect an artist to draw the same thing over and over again 40 for their entire life? Like very few art like the artists do that not because they aren't growing as artists, but they're like kind of trapped, you know, because collectors and the collectors that buy from you because you do a certain thing, and if you change what you do, most of them won't come follow suit. They won't follow you anymore because, or they won't buy from you. They might appreciate that you're adapting, you're changing your work, but they want that pancake and syrup drawing. You know, they don't want to see you do anything different. They'll go find another artist that does something similar, something that you similarly did back in the day. You know. Another thing though is I typically never really made art that was pretty. Like I don't know. It's just interesting topic to think about, and I'm just saying that if you like an artist and you like what they're doing, don't be upset if they change what they're doing. You know, because you're gonna, you know, you change as individuals, and also listen, you got to be in, you got to keep it in a little context, right? Like when you get a new job, you're like it's exciting because it's new. But after 10 years of doing the same thing, you're like, this sucks. Like, right? You're like, you're gonna have to find either you're gonna have to move up in your position and get something that's a little bit more interesting, but you know, it's not entertaining after a while, right? So it's like, if you ever been in a factory job, I've been in a factory job, right? I've worked in factories. And why they have the reason why they have a high turnover rate. Well, for one, it's not just the fact that it's a factory job. The factory jobs they're not fun because it's usually a lot of labor. They pay okay, and they generally offer like health insurance and benefits, but it's a lot of labor. They have a high turnover rate because it's a lot of labor. Generally, you end up having to take up the slack for other people that aren't working as hard as you, and that the managers typically don't care, and so that deteriorates morale. So you have these workers that do the work. They pick up the slack of other employees. Managers don't care, so that's why you have a high turnover rate. But also, it's just boring. It's usually the same thing every day. You just do the same thing. Like people, I had friends who worked at True Manufacturing. All you do for 10, 12 hours is you like screw in a bolt, or you assemble a door handle, or you put a door onto the refrigeration unit, and you do that day in, day out. The mundaneness of it, right? And that's the same thing. You may not think it is, but it's the same thing with an artist. If you have that artist draw the same thing or same type of thing with maybe like subtle variations, like I want them to do like lighthouse landscapes. Draw lighthouse landscapes forever, or paint lighthouse landscapes forever, and then you're like mad at them that when they decide that they're just going to start doing caricatures. It's like I've been drawing lighthouse landscapes for like 30 years, and I'm tired of it. Quite frankly, they all look the same to me now. Like they're the same, like it's the same like thing. To the person, to the buyer, it's not the same thing because they only seen one, but to the artist, after doing 50, 100, 200, 300, 400 lighthouse landscapes, it's it looks the same. It's just this, it's the same thing, just like it's the same image, different package, right? It's the same present, different wrapping. So yeah, man, you can't be so upset. So it's interesting that we're expected to kind of do the same thing over and over again, and that's just not fair for the artist. Really isn't. Like that's probably the reason why you have some there's levels of depression in artists because they get they have a level of success, but they have to do the same thing over and over again. They feel like they're being typecasted. Very few artists get the benefit of being able to do different things over and over again. Like you have a handful of like these assembly line artists like Jeff Koons and Damien Hirst who are able to do whatever the heck they want is because they're like, I don't know why they're like this the select few to be able to do whatever kind of paintings they want. Maybe it's because they don't actually do the paintings. So the fact that they don't do the paintings, it's the idea that that counts, you know. So since they're not their actual hand is not directly involved with the work, other than directing the people that they hire to do their work for them, maybe that's the reason why they're able to get away with it, you know. And there's also there's a few other artists that actually do their own work and they're able to do different stuff, right? Uh, and it's probably because they set up their career to do a variety of type of work. And very few artists can set up their career that way because they get a level of success in one area. I don't like what's going on with that eye. They get a level of success in one area and then they're like stuck. You know, they're stuck doing essentially the same thing. You know, and I feel for them. Like I feel for them to an extent because for to one extent they're basically doing what they kind of love doing. They're able to do to make a living off their artwork because that's typically what happens. But to the other extent, I feel for them because they're kind of trapped. You know, not all the artists want to do that image. They might have done it. They might have done it as an experimentation. Like they might have been just playing around and enjoyed the outcome, and then all of a sudden it has super like it just resonates with all the viewers, and now they're like, well, I have to do this now because all my other work is not doing too well, like selling too well, so I gotta have to do this. And that's what these kind of portraits are kind of doing. Like they were done as a way to kind of branch out and what's going on here and learn how to draw digitally. And I think I've gotten to a level of competence in that regard. But now it's doing so well that I'm kind of trapped in that. But I don't mind it so much because I'm still learning. And also it's fun seeing customers really appreciate the drawings. And that's another thing. And it's also kind of new. It's not like I'm painting the same thing each day. Like I'm the the topic's the same, right? Portraits and animals, but it's not like I'm doing a landscape with in a slightly different vantage point with the same colors all the time. At least right now. Maybe in like when I do my 100th portrait, it'll be like, yeah, this is kind of the same. But right now, it's interesting enough and it's has enough variety for me to kind of keep going. but of course, I do have those times where you kind of notice if you watch me, you kind of notice that like, oh, this guy's kind of down. He's kind of down today. And like, yeah, there's days that I'm like, I'm not at 100. I'm not, and I wish I could be like, yeah. So I need to be more spirited. I just need to be more positive, right? Don't you think I need to be more positive? I do. Uh, maybe I find that my overall temperament is directly related to. I'm taking a break, 5 minute break. Actually, not that. It's going to be a little bit shorter than. I find that my temperament is directly related to like how much sleep I get, and I that's why I've been sleeping in and starting to drawing sessions later, and I've been trying to be more mindful of that because um, I think you would agree, right? You would agree that sleep is important, and I just haven't been getting much sleep. I've been getting like I'll get like maybe maybe 5 hours, and I'm like, oh gosh, I did that 4 to 5 hour like 5 hours of sleep for a year while I was working on my solo show, and I tell you what, I think it might be the reason why I lost more hair and got more grays than normal. Like seriously, the stress level was through the roof. It wasn't worth it. That's another reason why I don't like doing art shows. The amount of stress, like it'd be different. Maybe it'd be different if the art shows yielded something. For me, art shows are like just like vanity because I never really like I have all my other friends and all my colleagues, they'll do these art shows and they'll sell a lot of art. And I'll do these art shows and I'll spend like hundreds of hours, thousands of hours of my time, and I'll sell no art. And I'm like, what the heck, man? And maybe I didn't present myself well. I don't know. It could be a multitude of things. Um, um, I don't know. I'm just not a natural born salesman, and so like I'm trying to get better at that, but I just never really sold myself, I guess. Uh, and I never got I never followed through with the information I should be following through with. Um, yeah, so I didn't do that. So I don't do art shows. Maybe I will in the future. I'm thinking about it, but I need to get back to painting. So I can't do art shows if I don't have any artwork, right? So if I do an art show, like I don't know, man. Like I don't know if an art show is worth it anymore because right now I can get I can go online and show my work and get just as much attention as I wanted to. Like what I could do, like tip like an art show. If you want to go to art show, like now, they're like art fairs. It's where you set up a tent and you have your art on display. And those art shows to do that cost $100, $500, right, for a weekend, and you might get 1,000 people to look at your work, right? I could do what I could literally do is set up a live stream art show on Facebook or on all this stuff, and and pay $500, have a $500 ad on Facebook and get just as much attention. Like actually even more because I have access to the entire world, right? It's easy. That would be the best way to go about it, probably. But anyways, I gotta go. I'm gonna use this extra time to kind of focus on the hairs. I have 56 seconds before I work on the other eye, and then that will be it for the day. Well, not really. I want to draw. I've been doing these impromptu drawing sessions, and I want to draw some monsters. I read a story. Oh, I didn't read a story. I watched my wife read a story to my daughter about monsters, and I saw the aesthetic that the monsters were drawn, and I want to try playing around with that aesthetic and see how I can kind of do my own little spin. They all look like they're all like oval shapes with like spikes on it and really big eyes and really big grins. And I want to try to do that. And basically, it will train me to simplify my drawing a little bit. And I think I need to learn how to simplify things a little bit more. It's always good to learn how to kind of to do different drawing voices, and that's another thing that goes back to like the artist wanting to do different things is because what you're expecting the artist to do is to draw in one voice over and over again, and then after a while their aesthetic change. They change as a person. Maybe their interest changes, you know, like what happens, like I'm thinking to myself, what happens to the art, like the what if the artist is 70 years old and you still see them drawing anime and manga characters? It's like it's like not only that, but anime and manga characters in like in swimsuits. You're gonna think that dude is a total creeper, right? Like he's got to change. He's got to change as an artist. Like I was like, this old dude is drawing anime and manga characters in like bikinis. You gotta have like that guy's gotta he's gotta change. And he's going to have to change. It's just so that to expect him not to become to like have a different aesthetic later on in life, that's silly. Like you can't expect the artist to draw uh, uh, nude women all his life, or what the guy liked cars when he was in his 20s and 30s. Then later on, he's like, I don't like spending money on cars, and like I'm tired of drawing cars. Or maybe the passion is so deep. Maybe I haven't found that. Maybe that's the reason why I have this weird perspective, because I haven't found that like that that really deep passion for a subject that I can do it over and over again. Uh, Perhaps I tell you what my passion is just randomly doodling dumb stuff over and over again. Uh, and maybe I should just do that. Like it doesn't have to be like I like doodling just dumb stuff that is either sometimes it's good, sometimes it's really bad. Like, and that's just how I am. Like I'll draw like a really bad drawing and I'll like it more than my drawings that I spend hours and hours on, because like it's the idea is funny. Like, oh, let's give this character a weird hat, and then that's it. That I find joy from. But unfortunately, just no one wants me to draw that. Or maybe there's a market for it now. Like maybe I should start doing that on YouTube. What do you think? You think I should do that? Or YouTube and Twitch, just draw random really silliness, and then like they don't even have to be good. Just doodle. Like some of them will be good. Like eventually it's inevitable that one of those drawings is going to be semi decent, but I'm not going to go in there and like, hey, this is going to be the best drawing ever, right? Someone's watching, but I guess they can't type. My coffee's hot. Well, let's work on the eyes using the good old airbrush. Good old airbrush. Do the airbrush. So, just like before, I'm just gonna add more, just add a little bit more to it. Up the contrast some on certain areas, play around with color. And that's all I'm going to be doing on the eye for this. And we're going to just block this out in one giant dark tone. Just because makes it easier. But yeah, I think I'm going to draw some monsters that look like kind of like beans with string legs. I think I might have fun with it. And I'm going to do it in Photoshop because it allows me to get more well versed with Photoshop, and that's what I'm trying to do, is get more well versed with Photoshop, and I'm excited about it. Again, I want to balance out drawing portraits and dogs and cats and people with something that I just want to do, you know? And I just want to draw really bad drawings that don't mean anything. Well, they mean something to me. They make me laugh, or I get some sort of like enjoyment out of it. I think I think the where I get the most enjoyment out of drawing is when I'm doing it for myself and it doesn't have to have any special purpose other than just to be there. And a lot of the drawings, like paintings I've been doing it because I thought that that's what I wanted to do. Like I wanted to do burgers because I thought I had to attach this subtext, this symbolism. Like I had this philosophy, this um, I had this narrative of drawing burgers because there were foods that I didn't consume that often, and I had them be they were very precious to me. So I would draw burgers or paint burgers, and now it's just like I'm just gonna do what the heck I want, you know, uh, and not worry about what people think. And because everyone, as I said, I think we a lot of artists are under the illusion that they're doing what they want, but I guarantee you, if they do a complete 180, they're going to find out real quickly of how anchored they are with their customer base. You know, it's like it's I guess the best way would be like Alex Ross. He's a famous comic artist, really good. It's like he might be able to swing it because he's got name recognition, where he could be like, "Sorry, Marvel, I just feel like doing abstract paintings now." It's like I'm tired of drawing Superman or painting Superman, right? And then you would have an outcry of people just like mad at him, like, "What? Just do what you just do, just draw Superman." Like, man, I'm tired of drawing Superman, bro. I've drawn Superman for days. I've got Superman drawings for days, right? So I think artists will find how stuck they are with their work, right? If they were to shift gears and to do something completely different. And that's my problem is I'm always because I'm doing something different. People don't know like what's this guy do? Like what's he about? And why can't I just be about art and about making things? You know, I don't want to just always paint faces. I don't. What if I want to do like just draw a landscape drawing? Yeah, maybe I'll do 10 just to say, hey, that was a fun experience, right? So for me, art is about the experience, right? It's about the experience of creating, experience of making. It's not about making the same stuff over and over again, right? I think that's one thing that kind of troubles me with this whole yeah, I really feel for the when I had that conversation with that artist, I really feel for her because like now she's really able to do what she wants, and she might be really blessed in the sense that like she might have people that will follow her uh and do in with whatever work she does. But you know, what if it becomes completely different than what she used to do? If it goes completely if it goes so far away from the original, like her original work, she might not have she might lose some followers, you know, and that might be disconcerting. Like that might affect the artist to go back to double back to the kind of like the drawing safety net, the image safety net, you know, and it and that just sucks. I wish artists had the freedom to do what they wanted to do when they wanted to do it. And I'm saying this in the sense that they may think that they are doing what they want to do. And that might be true. They might be doing what they want to do. But it's like this. The I don't know, like it's hard. It's a really hard to explain. I can't explain it. It's hard to explain because it's so abstract, right? Like the idea is abstract. They like I'm basically saying that these artists are doing, they're drawing, they're making work and they're selling work and they're doing what they love doing, which is making artwork. But maybe the artwork they're making is not what they love, right? They love the act of making the art, but the subject matter is not what they loved. They do the subject matter is because it's what sells, and they're kind of pigeonholed in that area at the moment. And some of them do try to get out of it, and then they get like you have customers that are mad at them, like why are you doing this? You know, just 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 stick to the hits. I had like Adam Carolla talked about that. It's like you don't want to hear Rolling Stone uh, uh, you don't want to hear Rolling Stone's new album. You want to hear the hits, you know. Or when you go to the concert, you don't want to hear them do a whole show that is about their whole like just all the new songs. You want them to play their hits, you know. And then maybe they can sprinkle in a few of their new songs just to add variety. But you don't want them to do their whole set with a whole new songs. You want them to sing the I don't know I don't know the popular songs. I think Satisfaction is one of them. You want them to play the hits, right? You want them to go. You want them to play those popular songs. And that's the same thing with artists. Like you want them to do the same thing over and over again. And you know, it's fine. Like it provides them with a living, yeah. But man, don't be mad. Let them do them sometimes. Let them support them when they decide to transition into different subject matter is all I'm saying, and stick with them because they might go back to they might just need a break from drawing from that subject matter and then they'll go back to it, you know. Buying one of their paintings that is um, different than the norm, you know. Buy one of their drawings that's different from what you're used to, right? Buy one. And then it's not going to sway them to keep going doing that. They may like, oh, that's great, this is working. That may then they might experiment with it for a few years, and they might go back to the subject matter that they started off with, because the subject matter they started off was something that they were probably really truly passionate about it. But you know what? They're just changing it up because they're just bored. You know, they've been doing the same thing over and over again, and they just want something to do something different. You know, like can you be mad at them for that, right? I mean, as I said, it's like they've been in an assembly line for years and doing the same thing, making the same refrigerator door forever. And then they're like, man, I just want to like I don't have to keep making the same refrigerator door. This I can do something completely different. You know, I can do whatever I want. I'm an artist. I choose what subject matter I draw. I get to choose, you know, and yeah, let them, you know, be more, support them, you know, if they decide to change a little bit. I mean, I don't know if a lot of people don't know this, but Picasso was, by the time he was 14, he was a superstar. Like he was a professional draftsman. Like he could paint like at the representational like any other artist. He was really good at that. And then he pivoted. He changed the method. He stole like I think George's Brock's idea of of abstraction. Like George Brock was like the innovator, and then I believe he was the innovator, and then Picasso stepped it up and introduced it in a new light. He probably just had the network that George Brock didn't have. I don't know. I don't know. I'm not an art historian. As a matter of fact, I just forget. I always forget artists. You know, everyone's like, "Have you heard this artist?" I'm like, maybe you show me what they've done. Oh yeah, I've seen that. It's like, oh man, they're doing some great work. Like, oh yeah, they're doing great work. So I'm like, I'm too busy with myself. I'm like, I'm not this. That sounds selfish, but like, like selfish, shellfish or selfish. Is it selfish or shellfish? No, not to sound selfish, but uh, I mean, like, I'm too busy focusing on what I'm doing with my life to kind of focus on other people's artwork, And I do keep an eye on the like my finger on the pulse, but like I'm not going around like just devoting my days looking at other art. I just don't have that free time that I would like. I do recognize the utility of it, right? I do recognize that it's good to kind of see what other people are doing and understand what they're doing and see that wow, this is really cool stuff, you know. But I'm not gonna be like I'm not gonna allocate time to I'm getting I'm getting lost with where that's at. This area here. Okay, I think I found it. Okay. Anyways, it's not something I'm gonna be like hyper focused on, and I get it, I understand people have the understanding the network effect of art. Being an artist, you got a network, and you know, I guess maybe I don't get it. I don't know. I don't know. Like I do a lot of good things, and I do a lot of really like just bad business practices. I do a lot of things that are really good with art. Like I'm out there in the interwebs, but like outside of that, there's other things I could are that are left to be desired. You know, I think that's the phrase, that are much to be desired or left. I don't. That could be. I don't know. Yeah. All right. So I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just making it up as I go. I think I've been drawing. I feel like I haven't though. Yeah, I've been drawing. Yeah, I've definitely been drawing. I closed the screen for a second. Sorry. I've been drawing. Definitely been drawing, but like doesn't feel like it. So I work a job on the weekend to not make ends meet, but just to have some extra income. Um, it does help, but like I work on the weekend, uh, and I was I was telling a coworker, I was like, listen, man, I can draw for 2 hours and not really feel that it's been 2 hours. I'd be like, oh, we're done. It's been 2 hours already. But I was telling him like, but I can't do this. If I do this job for 2 hours, I really know, I really feel that it's been 2 hours. Like it actually 2 hours will feel like 30 minutes. I'm like, hey, it's only been 30 minutes. Thought I've been here forever. Those jobs. I got one, you know. This is one of those jobs you just time kind of stands still and you wish it moved faster, right? I wish it would. I really do wish it moved faster. And I wish that drawing slowed down a little bit. Felt like it went slower, right? I wish that was the case. Like video games. Isn't it interesting how video games, you can play video games for like 8 hours straight and feel like you've only been doing it for a couple, right? You could spend a whole work shift playing video games and you're like, it's been 8 hours. Wow, I feel bad. I feel like a I feel like I wasted my time, right? Like that is interesting how that works. Like I think it's just like since there's so much action, like it can literally you can't tell like the time, like the load times, the like the minute between like those menus while you're loading and getting into a online gaming party, right? That takes a little bit of time, but it's so insignificant, but it adds up after you do one or two. That's 10 minutes. And then the actual, like, if you're doing like Call of Duty or Fallout or whatever those games, like Fallout, if you're traveling, it takes a while to travel. Even if you do fast travel, right? Like all those things add up, and you're like pretty soon, hours and hours later, like, wait a second, I did so little, and I need to do so much in the game, and I was like, I'm done with you games, man. I love you, I love you so much, but I don't even want to. I don't even want to invest my time on you because I know that there's no benefit for me. Like I hate to sound selfish about it, like yeah, it's the benefit is I get a little bit of entertainment for like a fraction of time, right? But outside of that, it's like so insignificant, you know? I don't get any benefit from any benefit from I had a oops from the game outside of that. Like it's just I get a little bit of entertainment and a little bit of enjoyment, but like then after that you kind of feel empty, I guess, because the subconscious what was it, like the pot is half full or something, or cup is half full type of thing, right? You don't feel fulfilled because you in the end you just you're conquering quests, or you're doing things that after a while that like you don't really, it doesn't improve you in any bit. Like it doesn't make you better. It makes your character better, but it doesn't make you better. It's not like gather it's not like you get +2 strength or +2 intellect, you know. Your character gets +2 intellect, and you got whatever that sway in that digital world, right? Like you personally don't get the benefits of that labor. You don't improve, right? So like that's something, man. Like that's a strange thing to consider, right? I don't think people think about that often. I think people should probably think about where this game time is going. Now, it's different if you're like a professional gamer, right? You're some of you that are professional gamers, like you make a lot of money doing it. Not well, yeah, there's a lot of people make a lot of money doing that. It's like I don't think I think we like I don't I think I think people don't get it. If you're making millions of dollars playing video games, you are in one incredibly lucky, but like I don't think you understand, like I think people don't understand the gravity. Like, yeah, I put a lot of work and effort. Like, listen, there was never a there was never a profession. Like it was never like there is up and only until recently, you could be a professional gamer. But before that, you were just like you were called a loser because you played a game for over and over again. But now you can go around to like some person who's a doctor and say, I make this amount of money. Like, well, I make six figures playing games 8 hours a day. And the doctor's like, what? I was like, yeah, I got all these sponsors, and they just pay me to play games. Like, dude, do you realize the weight of that? Do you realize how incredibly amazing that is, that you can make money, literal money. You can make literal money just playing games. Like, some people just make money doing this. All they don't even sell their artwork, right? All they do is log on to this and they just stream their drawing, and then all of a sudden they have such a huge following that people just watch them. That is amazing. I don't like I It boggles the mind how crazy that is. Like what was it? Some people make money just talking about how much they love the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. That is amazing. That is an amazing thing to be a part of. And yet I think we take it for granted. Like, was it Charlie D'Angelo with Charlie D, whatever her last name is? She's got I'm gonna whatever Charlie. She makes millions of dollars. She, all she all she does is dance on TikTok. She does like 15-second. They're like cheerleader dances. That's all. She makes $1 million. I don't know how much she makes. She makes a lot of money. Like, or either that or her family is super rich, because they're the places that she's doing her dances at. There's little weird 5-second dances. Like, her kitchen's like the size of my house. So I see her kitchen, and I'm like, dude, that countertop's like the size of my whole house. And everyone's watching her and they're like, well, you're super talented. Like, I've seen dancers that are way more talented, vastly more. But the algorithm gods just like funneled in on her, and she blew up, and all of a sudden the algorithms keep going closer, more and more to her, and like Kim Kardashian, right? People online, like, I don't think you like, yeah, I'm not discrediting the work involved, but like the fact that you're able to just do it is in itself a astronomically amazing thing. Like, I don't even know what to say. Anyways, I am done today. I gotta get kind of ready for work. I'm gonna change shirts so I don't look like I gotta get ready for work. And uh yeah, I gotta get ready for work, and that's it. Anyways, thank you. Hey, the guy that's on Twitch, the person that's watching me on Twitch, thank you. Thank you. Really do appreciate you. I know hopefully you got some enjoyment out of my like rants about art, and rants about making money, just making art. Just hopefully you just subscribe. Please be my first follower on Twitch, and I can be like, talk about it. I can brag about it. I'm gonna go my third job on this weekend, and I'll be like, guess what I got? I got one follower on Twitch. How many followers do you have? Anyways, I gotta get going. Thank you very much. Have a wonderful day.